Hi, Dr. Bridget here with another prescription for success. Today I'm going to be talking about how to use NLP to give feedback, and specifically a 5-step feedback. So I've recently been talking to clients who want their relationships to be different, and that's either in business, with themselves, with their family, friends, colleagues, and they just feel that communication isn't particularly working. And sometimes when you want someone to change, or you want to have someone behave differently, then you can just keep going on in the same way and nothing much changes. And we've got that Einstein's law of insanity, which says if you keep doing the same thing expecting something different, then that's a bit insane, isn't it? And also an NLP sort of presupposition that the people with the most flexibility are in charge of the system. So if something's not working, then change it. So a couple of more things to think about. So everyone's got a different model of the world. So everyone's had different experiences, been brought up differently, have different beliefs and different values. And therefore, what you want isn't not necessarily what other people will want. People aren't their behaviours, so all we see is their behaviours, but maybe what we do is accept the person and try and do something about the behaviour if it's not working in our model of the world. The other thing is, what's important to you is totally valid. So it may not be what's important to everyone else, but it is to you, and how you feel is totally valid. And no one can disagree with what's important to you or what you feel. And that's the whole basis of this 5-step feedback. So I'll just run through the 5 steps. The first step is to ask permission. So is it okay if I talk to you about? The second step is to put it into context. So is it okay if I speak to you or talk to you about what's just happened or what you just said? Not about who people are, but just what the behaviour is that you've noticed. The third step is to give the feedback. So it needs to be sort of succinct, sort of short, generous and specific. And this is the most important thing, it's about how you feel. Because people can't argue with that. And as I said before, what you feel is valid. The fourth step then is to just check how it's landed. So, I hope that's okay to say. And then the fifth step is to move on. Do you fancy a cup of tea? So it's quite short. So you can do it for positive things and you can do it for negative things. So I'm just going to give Chris, who's videoing this, some positive feedback using a 5-step feedback process. So Chris, is it okay if I speak to you about what we've just done videoing wise? And he'll say yes. I say, I really enjoy working with you. We have a lot of fun, and it makes a big difference to my business. And I just wanted to say that makes me feel really happy. I hope, and then step 4, I hope that's okay to say. And then shall we shoot the next video? So it's as quick as that, really. So if you were doing negative feedback, so feedback about something that's negative for you, you might say something like, is it okay if I talk to you about what you just said? And I could say, yeah, it's really great to have you as a friend and I really appreciate you. But when you say whatever it is that they've said, that makes me feel either anxious or low or whatever it is. And I say, I hope that's okay to say, and then do you fancy a cup of tea? So it's a really short, specific thing. And it makes a big difference because it's not your usual nagging, in inverted commas. It's not the usual thing that you say. It's about how you feel, and it's validating your feelings, and the persons will think about that and either make a difference or or it won't. So you need to repeat it if necessary. If it's not ticking what's important to you and it keeps happening, then you have to ask yourself, is that worth putting up with, or is it a boundary where you need to actually do something about the relationship with that person if they're not taking how you feel on board? And also, it's also potentially about changing your beliefs. So if you've got some negative stuff that's gone on in the past which makes you believe something and it's affecting your relationship, then maybe you need to have a think about that. Whatever way, if you want to talk about relationships, communication, changing mindsets, changing outcomes, then give me a shout. I do a free half hour and we can start to work on whatever's needed for you to get what you want out of life, because we've only got one life, allegedly, and it's quite short. So see you next week. Bye.